Hey everyone, I hope you're well. Today I want to talk about the Prowler, R-99 and Vault and talk about which one should be used the most, which one's technically the best weapon, and where about each weapon ranks in terms of their performance in game. They're all SMGs, they're all popular choices, but they all have different stats, so let's jump into that today. Before I jump into it, if you want to watch me and my wife ask some Q&A questions, there's a video over on her channel. You can check it out now. Here's a little sneak peek. Why the gaming merchant? Can we get some backstory on your name? Yes, so many people always ask this question. Alright, let's get into the juice of this video. We're talking about the Prowler, R-99 and Vault and comparing all of their stats to help you find out which weapon you should use. Now they may all seem pretty similar in terms of damage, but there is quite a clear tier here in terms of how each weapon performs. The Prowler has the highest damage per mag and magazine size count. The Vault is in the middle and the R-99 is the lowest. As you can see here, the Prowler can do up to 490 damage per reload with the highest level mag, and the Vault 390, whereas the R-99 is just 297. Prowler definitely wins here in terms of pure ammo capacity and damage output, and that does matter a lot in games, but the damage per second, it's a different story. The Prowler actually comes in last at 175 DPS. That recent nerf has brought it below the Vault's DPS, and this is if you're firing at max speed. With the Prowler, you're not always going to be firing at max speed, because sometimes you may take a split second between each burst, but we'll talk about later why that's not necessarily that important. The Vault comes in at 180 DPS, so pretty close to the Prowler, and the R-99 has a massive jump up to 198 DPS. DPS isn't always that important in Apex though. The time to kill is more important. You may have a high DPS weapon that has a worse time to kill just because it's doing less damage per shot, and just because of the way the timings work out, that can be the case. Just to give an example of how this kind of plays out in real world time, 150 HP, so level 1 armor, the R-99 and Vault have the same time to kill for body shots. Go up to 200 HP and the R9 just about wins, and the Prowler kind of ties with the Vault. Overall though, with the nerf, the Prowler is now significantly worse in terms of time to kill. So ultimately, you have a choice. You can choose to go for a high DPS weapon in the R9 and potentially get a 1 mag faster than any other weapon, or have more ammo and more versatility per mag so that you're going to be more likely to secure the kill in the case of the Vault and the Prowler. The R-99 may allow you to beam a player very fast, but if you miss some of those bullets, you may not be able to beam a player at all. You're going to need to hit 18 of the 20 ammo in a default R9 to knock a 200 HP player. Whereas in the Prowler, you're only going to need to hit 15 out of those 20 shots. And with the Vault, you only need to hit 14 out of 19. So you can see here that the R9 is a high risk, high reward weapon. Like I said earlier, it's not always about time to kill and DPS. One of the redeeming features of the Prowler is because it's like a burst weapon. You can peek in and out of cover, do bursts, go back in cover, and then peek in and out again. It has that sort of effect that a shotgun would close range when you're peeking in and out of cover with that, and in my opinion, you may find that it's better to sort of just hip fire in and out of cover with the Prowler in this case. Ultimately though, I do think with this recent nerf, the R9 and Vault do just become that much more versatile and powerful than the Prowler. I'd say the Prowler is only really there if you have a specific use case for it. Like I said, you want to use it as a weapon that you can peek out of cover with and shoot people. A lot of people say that the hip fire on the Prowler is good, and whilst that is true, that's the same as the hip fire on both the R-99 and the Vault. If you burst fire with both of these weapons, you'll have a similar experience at similar distances, although with the R-99 having a faster fire rate, that hip fire recoil is a little bit more uncontrollable. Talking about recoil control, the R-99 and Vault have pretty similar recoil patterns, but because the R-99 has a faster fire rate, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to control at longer ranges. But up close, at the kind of distances you really want to be using an SMG, you just pull down. Same in the Vault's case, just pull down, although a little less crazily. Because the Vault has a slower fire rate and higher damage per shot, you're going to be able to use it at slightly longer distances, and this is the same with the Prowler too. The Prowler and Vault work really well with a 2x on it, and you can do some pretty incredible stuff. If you're looking to find like a close to mid-range weapon, the Vault and Prowler are definitely more versatile. Although if you absolutely perfect the R-99 recoil, the same could be said for that weapon too. There's another thing that we should talk about, reload speed. The R-99 reloads the fastest, the Vault the second fastest, and the Prowler the slowest, but the times are all still pretty fast. One benefit of the full auto weapons is if there's one bullet left in the mag, the reload will be even faster because it just kind of cuts part of that animation out. The Prowler, for you to do that, you're going to need to leave 5 bullets in the mag, so it's not as beneficial. I would say give the R-99 a try and see how you do with it. You may find that you can beam people really effectively and get some easy kills with it, because that high DPS is going to lend itself well in most cases. But if you're looking for something a little bit longer range, then the Vault and Prowler do really well, and that extra ammo is going to make sure that if you do miss some shots, then you're going to still have some ammo in the mag to secure a kill. It really does come down to personal opinion. Which of these 3 SMGs do you prefer? Just go and try them all out. They're all decent. Unlike other games, most of the weapons in Apex Legends are very balanced, so you can pretty much take anything and do very well with it. The only weapon I'd recommend not picking up is the RA45, because whilst it has quite a fun, unique mechanic in that it's a auto pistol, the DPS and time to kill on that are pretty poor. You're definitely going to get much more significant performance out of the SMGs instead. All 3 weapons from the R-99 to Vault to Prowler are all really decent, although I would say out of the 3 personally, I'm leaning towards the R-99 and Vault because their higher DPS is just working better for me. Alright everyone, that's it. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know what your opinions are of these 3 weapons. Go try them out in game and leave some feedback below for other people to read, and I'll see you in the comments. Cheerio!